created by M7 Productions and Atreto, 0 Hour aims to bring you tactical realism with their flagship online competitive multiplayer shooter.
As previously said, 0 Hour is going to be a PvP 5v5 team versus team tactical shooter. The game is designed this way, and this will hopefully please people who are making comparisons between this game and the upcoming R.O.D.E, which in my opinion is more designed for a PvE/co-op experience, and those people were not really impressed by the PvP footage they have seen a couple of months ago. However, as mentioned on the Steam page, the 0 Hour team will be working on the PvE/co-op experience as well, something to expect for the final version of the game, which will hopefully be released around Q1 2021.
Players can expect various different ways to engage the enemy, whether it be a loud entry where players breach the door to let the enemy know they're coming, or a stealthy approach where players initiate a complete blackout without giving away their position.
0 Hour is going to have that very slow pace, super tactical shooter gameplay experience, but we can clearly see that it will still be up to us to decide if we want to go for the loud approach or the more stealthy approach. I like this kill switch, breaker switch feature, and we can see that on the screen the team is still together, but I would love to have the option to use this feature in a different way. An example, I think it would be pretty interesting to leave someone behind at the breaker switch on standby and ready to use it, ready to switch all lights off once the rest of the team is ready to breach in, thus causing confusion and panic within the defending team.
In this video, we aim to cover all the features available in 0 Hour. The game features door mechanics where the player can cycle between 3 states: closed, slightly open, and completely open as you press the interaction button.
Okay, so no gradual opening for now, which is okay. If anything, this is going to make things easier to work with the rest of your team, since you will always know the kind of angles you're going to get if you are slightly opening doors. This will make it easier for other team members to throw grenades and take a pick, but that will be the same for the defending team as well, who will know how to get better angles on your team.
Or if you want to get a little noisy, we added the option of a Ballistic Breach, as long as the player equips a shotgun. We have more plans on door breach mechanics which will add in the near future, such as breaching charges and other explosive methods of entry.
Pretty cool. So for now we have the usual ballistic breaching. It doesn't sound like you have to use breaching barrels or special slugs like the TSAR or the Haton rounds. Based on the comments, it sounds like you simply need to equip a shotgun. Explosive breaching will also be coming in the future, but no mention of thermal breaching at this stage. Obviously something that could still be coming if the community asks for it and if it's something the developers would consider doing. But I think it would be interesting to have thermal breaching and maps specifically designed with that in mind.
Now, the playing table has 4 specific uses: drawing throughout the map, placing markers to indicate entry points or danger, and choosing the spawn during the preparation phase. It also allows the players to be able to see any sort of enemy interactions or the bomb pulse.
Ah yes, the tactical map. So beside the usual draw on the map and pick your spawn point, you can also get some intels about the objectives. In here, he only mentions about the bomb pulse, but we will then hear a bit more about the other objectives later in this video. I do like that we can display the different floors, that each player seems to have a different color code, and that we have the names of the different locations on the 3D map directly. I do hope that we will have more options to set waypoints and running orders in the future. Maybe even a save and load template feature so that we can quickly recall a set of running orders depending on the strategy that you and your team wants to use. Quite like what we had in the old school Rainbow Six games.
In 0 Hour, one very important feature is the ability to steal enemies' weapons. Do note, as security forces, if you die and leave your weapon system behind, expect it to be used against you. It is not removed from the match, but it's added to the opponent's inventory.
Dead on second.
This places emphasis on resource management and weapon choice before entering the battleground.
Here we can see a member of the defending team taking a Scar L from the dead body, switching from R.O.D.E to a more powerful firearm. This appears to be something quite advantageous for the defending team, obviously, and another way for them, actually for both teams, to properly manage their resources. And you will most likely need to get those weapons before the end of a round. But it doesn't seem like the attacking team can secure weapons. I think it would be quite interesting if the attacking team could also secure weapons before the end of a round, but get some sort of weight penalty in return, as if they were carrying the weapon during the entire round.
In the selection phase, where you can choose your desired weapons and gadgets, it's important to take account for your arsenal, as each round will depend on it. A proper loadout in the whole team can influence a win, but if you use your equipment in the first round, you might find yourself eating dirt rather sharpish.
I absolutely love the camera angle here, by the way, and I really hope this is something we will have, and I really hope we will get a replay system in the future. But let's focus on the resource management and loadout systems. And based on what he just said, you will be limited in resources on the match basis instead of a round basis, which means that if you decide to go all out and use all your utilities or gadgets in the first round, you are going to be a lot more limited in terms of tactical choices once you get to the second and third round.
Using high-end firearms and dying can allow terrorists to take your weapon and have an advantage with a better chance of winning the next round.
Right, so here you can see the same defender from the previous clip now using the Scar L, most likely again from the same round, but you can see that those members from the attacking team on the other side of the room are getting killed with a single shot, which might not be something that this defender could have pulled off if they were still using the R.O.D.E. And with the Scar L, this defender is most likely going to be able to fire through soft surfaces such as doors and windows a lot easier in the next round, thus making it a lot harder for the attacking team to breach in.
In our main menu, if you head over to our Learn tab, you'll see many tips and tricks that can help guide you and understand the fundamentals of all the maps and how.
Okay, so what I like the most about this screen is that you can see the developers have been thinking about many ways to prevent grief tactics and ensure that everyone gets a great gameplay experience. There are several systems in place to prevent spawn killing and spawn rush, with breakable windows not getting damaged during the deployment phase, defenders not being able to leave the building, defenders getting highlighted if they run outside the building to rush the attackers too much, and so on. All of this was implemented to make sure people play this tactical shooter game the way it was meant to be played. This is more of a simulation than a competitive arcade shooter game with realistic damage. If winning by rushing solo is your kind of gameplay, I think Rainbow Six Siege is more your cup of tea.
They influence gameplay.
This is a pretty good overview of the 5 maps that we will get once the early access version of 0 Hour gets released on August the 12th. Each map is unique, provides its sets of challenges and differences that actually affect the amount of spawn points that you can use, the tactics you can use as well, or even the efficiency of specific game features, mostly the breaker switch for the lights. So for example, some small maps such as the residential house will have a floor that will be inaccessible during the planning phase and only one stairway, so perfect for ambushes, especially if you play on a hostage mod. The terror house will include a lot of very small rooms, many entry points, but bulletproof doors, so ideal if you want to use grenades and not getting shot through the door.
The hostage is another unique feature in 0 Hour. They're only shown in the planning table if someone is moving them. As a terrorist unit, you'll need to keep an eye on them. If you don't, they might scarper and extract themselves, giving the counter-terrorists a free win.
This is really cool. I like that defenders will have something more to worry about than just the attackers, which will keep the tactical and teamwork aspects of the game extremely relevant for both the attacking and defending sides. Defenders must ensure the hostage doesn't flee, and the attackers must react quickly if such opportunity presents itself. We don't really see much of how the defenders put pressure on the hostage, but that's definitely something we will find out soon enough.
In a hostage game mode, you can't see the hostage's location in the planning table. One sneaky way to know their position is to have one teammate shoot as you watch the planning table. You'll be able to see a shockwave coming from the hostage's location.
Okay, that's a sneaky tactic, but quite interesting anyway, since it sounds like the hostage will react to the attacker's actions. So if you fire a round, the hostage will appear on the map, potentially reacting to the shots and trying to go towards them? It most likely requires you to use a non-silenced weapon to do this, which will obviously give your position up. So it depends on what you want. Is knowing where the hostage is worth compromising your location? Definitely something to discuss with the rest of your team for sure, but again, something that put the emphasis on the tactical and teamwork aspect of the game.
Team communication is a vital aspect of securing a win. Talk to your team as you keep in formation. Knowing who is where is essential as you open doors, clear rooms and use explosives. Miscommunication will often lead to blue on blue and could cost you the round.
Move, shoot and communicate. So as you can see, the UI of the game is quite simple, and I don't mind so much in games like these where it's an open world and the attacking and defending team have clear different outfits. But you might have team members starting at a different location of the map. So make sure that everyone understands what the tactic is, have a clear running order based on checkpoints all time, and communicate about what is going on. This can also be achieved with a clear hierarchy within your team or sub-teams if you decide to split your team into smaller groups.
The breaker switch adds an intense ambience to a match. It's an important tool that can put either team in an advantage if used right. The location of the breaker switch will be indicated in the planning table, but remember, not all maps take place at night time.
Yeah, this is a feature I like very much, and I believe both the attacking and defending teams can actually use the breaker switch. I like that you won't be able to rely on this feature for all maps, since not all of them take place in the nighttime. However, I do hope that the breaker switch will affect more than lights in the future. An example, I think it would be awesome if it would affect the security camera systems of the building, alarm system, or even some access points like a lift, automatic doors, fire suppression systems, and heating system. Yeah, imagine if the attacking team could increase the general heating of the building, giving defenders a small aiming penalty because it's too hot, or the defenders triggering the fire suppression system and thus obstructing the vision of the attacking team as they are progressing within the building. Using the breaker switch would prevent such tactics from being used.
Now, if you run around for too long, your aim will sway, and you won't find yourself hitting anything. This has been done to stop players from rushing, and to encourage you to engage in slower paced, tactical combat. 0 hour, where running around and shooting just isn't an option.
Thanks fracking God. I don't know what to say, but thanks.
The realistic, tactical, intense and grounded gameplay will make players think twice before rushing into engagements. Make entry into enemy territory and watch the gameplay evolve around you as your choices are varied in the way both teams play. 0 Hour tries to bring the features of true tactical gameplay to multiple players in a grounded CQB experience. Alright agents, so that's an analysis of the 101 trailer of 0 hours. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to support the R.O.D.E Foundation channel, and I will see you next time.